I created this painting as part of a webinar I did a while back, and it kept popping into my head this week, so I just decided it was time to do something with it. If you're new here, my name is Kathy, and this channel is all about helping you gain the courage and skills needed to express your true self through intuitive, expressive, abstract art, so you can become the artist that you long to be. So one of the first things that I noticed about this painting was that it was kind of boring to look at. All of the values seem to be almost the same. So I decided to just break that up by bringing in a darker value. So the contrast of this deep magenta is really bringing in some warmth that is contrasting with these cooler colors. And I really love how it made everything just pop. So after adding all these dark colors, I wanted to create even more contrast, but I wanted it to be more colorful and bright. So I ended up pulling out my art graphs, and if you haven't used art graphs, I cannot recommend them enough. They are so great. I mean, just look what happens when you spray water on them and just spread them out over the canvas. They are so full of pigment and so delicious. So I really, really recommend them if you haven't tried them before. Another thing I love about these art graphs is that they're water soluble, so they are transparent. And you can see the layers beneath, so it's almost like glazing. I'll leave a link in the description just in case you want to try them. So here you see me working with some line. I just pulled out a paintbrush that is really thin, and I'm just going for it, having fun, relaxing, and trying to create even more contrast in my painting. So if you're new to painting, or if you haven't been painting all that long, you might find contrast a bit intimidating because it forces us to make these bold and sometimes really uncomfortable decisions in our art. And I remember how challenged I felt. So, I can totally relate to that. It is hard because embracing contrast also means that you have to embrace your own vulnerability and trust that these bold differences are going to make your art stronger and more interesting to look at. Okay, so I'll let you in on a secret. The moment I introduced this turquoise into my painting, I was like, oh no, what did I do? But the thing is that the moment of doubt is often where the magic happens. I felt this rush of uncertainty, but instead of panicking, I just trust the process. So turquoise, bold as it was, brought me some contrast to my painting that it really did need in the end. So I just shifted the whole composition. I created more tension and balance in ways that I hadn't expected. And sometimes it's the unexpected choices that push us to grow and bring our art to life. All right, I'm going to put on some music, and I hope you enjoy, and I'll pop back in later on. Yeah, so I dried the painting a bit and I sat down and I looked at it for a while and I just decided that I needed to go even bolder because it was, there was contrast there, but it was just not, it wasn't popping. So I added a bit of it to the canvas and I just sat myself down and just looked at it for a while. Sometimes it's really hard to make these decisions right then and there. So what I like to do is just do something totally different from what I was thinking about because it kind of distracts me, and when I come back to it, it makes it easier for me to see. So that's what you see me doing here. I just, went in with that brown paint, and then now you see me making this yellow half circle, and I'm just trying to distract myself from the problem. So after that distraction, I pulled back and I could see clearly that the orange is working really well. It just needed more contrast. The funny thing is that as soon as you see things that work, it makes it so much easier to just keep going with it. And that's what I'm doing here. So at this point, I like what I'm seeing, so I decide to just finish off with this turquoise and then come back to it maybe in a couple of days or a week or so. That usually helps me, determine if a painting is done or not. I hope you enjoyed watching this week and that you found some inspiration or new ideas to take into your own practice. Whether it's experimenting with colors or embracing contrast, just enjoy the process. So I hope this sparked something in you, and keep pushing your boundaries, and remember that sometimes your best art will come from those moments where you're most uncertain. As always, thanks for watching. I'll see you next week. Bye.